I think David, again, just like last week, is struggling with the bigness of God and his own smallness. The earth and everything in it, the world and its inhabitants belong to the Lord. For he laid its foundations on the seas and established it on the rivers. Who may ascend the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in his holy place? I think David is looking around and going, look, God created all that I see. And everybody that I see is in the creation that God created. And God, as creator, has to be bigger than all of this. How? How, in my insignificance, how can I get into the presence of God? The one who has clean hands and a pure heart, and who has not set his mind on what is false, and who has not sworn deceitfully. Now the good news is this. We do not have to match God muscle for muscle to get into his presence. And that's good news. We do not have to match his creation in order to get into his presence. That's not the qualifier. But the bad news is that purity is a qualifier. Clean hands and a pure heart. That's a qualifier. That is the qualifier. And none of us qualify. None of us have clean hands. None of us have a clean heart. But the final good news is this. Jesus does. And Jesus died on the cross with our sins on his back so that we then can have a clean hands and a pure heart. When we have faith, that's what he did. And that's why he did it. And that we want to be in God's presence through the clean hands and pure heart that Jesus gives. And when we find that, he will receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. When we have clean hands and a pure heart, when we come into his presence, he gives us his own righteousness. He gives us the righteousness of Jesus. Such is the generation of those who seek him, who seek the face of God of Jacob. We find this when we seek him, and we seek his face, and we seek his presence, and we seek a relationship with God. Lift up your heads, you gates. Rise up, ancient doors, and the King of glory will come in. It seems like David switches the tone and switches the conversation, but here's what I think he's saying about the doors and the gates. I think what he's saying is, God, my life, open door. Come flooding into my life. Give me the clean hands. Give me the pure heart. Give me your righteousness so that I can seek your face all day long, and so that I can be in the presence of this God who created all of this. Despite my insignificance, I can be in your presence. That's our everyday prayer. God, my life, it's an open door. Come flooding in so that I can experience clean hands, pure heart, and your righteousness. And so that I can be in your presence and seek your face all these days. And when we seek his face, we are seeking the face of the one who created everything and holds it all in his hands.